all-decade player. You were a fixture in the Pro Bowl.
2 decades.
Yep, 2 decades, and won a championship, but have also had a lot of crazy stuff. Let's go through. Tell me which ones are real and which ones aren't real. You
Let's
ready?
go.
First of all, the draft. You get buried in the draft.
Let me do that one for you. Let me do that one for you, please, because I've lived this.
Well, let me tell the folks what it was. You supposedly got tested positive for marijuana, and it sent you cascading down the draft. So
that was the whole report.
That's the report that I remember. Give me
that's the whole report.
Story. Well, give me the whole story. Go ahead.
11:30 at night before
the
12.
Night before.
The night before 12 noon draft in New York City. Mortensen or one of them ESPN guys comes on Inside the Huddle, because that was the little sidebar, Inside the Huddle.
Right.
And so I flunked 7 drug tests at Miami. 6 for marijuana and 1 for cocaine.
Okay.
Now, you know that's the University of Miami, right?
Yes.
Miami, where the cocaine's at, right?
Yes.
How could I be at that program, win the Lombardi, 6th in the Heisman, and all of that stuff, the most decorated cane ever, and nobody know anything?
Okay, so none of it's true. I'm asking you, none of it's true. What do you think happened? Why did that come out the night? Now, there were rumors that people planted the story so that they could draft you lower in the draft.
I'll tell you this.
This happened in Marino before the draft,
This is the way I say it. No,
but what do you think happened?
Because nobody said Danny flunked 7 drug tests when he was there.
But
You know what really hurt Danny?
Yeah.
When Rooney didn't pick him.
Right.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, who knew everything about him, didn't pick him.
But
That's
they
what really.
Thought that he was wild his senior year.
Like I said,
blah.
when the Pittsburgh Steelers, your hometown team, don't pick you, then that says red light all day long.
So take me through what happened before the draft.
I had no clue.
What do you think happened?
I flunked the drug test at the combine.
For marijuana?
Marijuana. Okay. 23 nanograms.
That's it. What does that mean?
The cutoff's 23 nanograms, so I'm just giving you the exact facts of it.
Was that the only test you had ever flunked?
Yes.
Okay. So you
then every month we're sending non-positive tests to all 32 teams, even the 2 brand new franchises that are starting, Jacksonville and Carolina.
Okay.
Somebody in Carolina wanted to know why the best player in college football wasn't coming to North Carolina to play. And the people in Jacksonville definitely wanted to know why the best player in college football wasn't coming there either. You know, the NFL made a statement the first time in 75 years about a drug test. They put Sapp, no cocaine. That's all I've done. That's exactly what the head of the paper said on the Miami Herald. So,
but you did flunk a test for marijuana. Yeah. You did, okay. Mm-hmm. And that obviously sent you.
No, I just told you what sent me down the draft.
But that's going to scare people off, though. You don't think it would have scared anybody off?
Give me a break.
You don't think at all?
Really?
I don't know. I'm asking.
So where'd the other 6 tests come from?
No. I'm saying
on a whim and a prayer. I would have stood on my own 1 positive test.
Right.
Been not a problem. But the night before the draft, a bombshell hits New York. Really? Nobody was investigating Warren all this time? The best player in college football. It wasn't even a question I was the best.
So all these years later, water under the dam, what do you think happened? Why do you think it happened?
Somebody in Carolina needed to know why the best player in college football was not coming.
So you think it was somebody trying to cover their rear end?
Ain't no covering. They just needed to justify why Carolina was trading this pick to the Cincinnati Bengals and waiting on Kerry Collins with the 6th pick.
You obviously proved that they made a big mistake in the draft, obviously, with your success. Now, from there, the next incident.
I was the best player in college football at the time, too.
Absolutely. No, hands down. There was no issues about that. No issues about your play. Listen, in any of this, there's no issues about your play. I mean, your play has never been an issue here. There's a lot of other stuff, but there's never been an issue about your play.
Okay.
Take me through the Raider game. You play in the Super Bowl. How much did and you got the perfect view for this. Barrett Robbins, we know what happens. How much did that impact the game, and how much did it that Gruden knew the audibles, knew what they were going to run, knew what they were going to do, was able to school you guys, fact, fiction, what's true, what's not true, what Gruden knew, and how much did Barrett Robbins' absence mean to that game?
12 NFL coaches on each staff, right? Let's just call them brothers.
Okay.
You and 11 of your brothers coach this football team. You leave your 11 brothers and come with me. Who know more about you? The 11 that's over there, or your 1 that know more about the 11 over there?
The 11.
Thank you.
Okay.
So that just kills all of that audible and all of that whatever about Gruden.
But there was a
You do realize we had the number 1 defense.
But there was reports that they did not change their audibles for the game. Is that true?
Guess what? We didn't change ours either.
So
we
you don't
running
think
that same dumb bullshit Willie
not an
93.
Issue. So not an issue.
the way I looked at that ball game, you remember how it started off, right?
Yes.
They kicked off to us, Stan Stegler's running, they said it's a fumble as he's rolling on the ground. They come down, third down, Simeon makes a move, sack. Now they kick a field goal. That's the last time the Raiders even get anywhere near our scoring territory. And they handed it to them. And they handed them the ball right there. So it wasn't that Johnny knew what was going on. It was that
we were just
a better team.
How much did Barron Robbins' absence mean to the game?
I wish to God he would have played because Adam True and Barrett Robbins are the same to me. They're just a helper. It's the guards and the tackles that make it go. Stepnoski didn't make those Emmitt Smith teams go. It was Larry Allen, 2-A, Eric Williams, and Nate Newton.
So, but did that really throw them off their game in your mind, or not really?
You know what? I being that I went to Oakland, I hear all the, this is what really happened. And the only thing I'll say is they had a plan. They said they were going to run the ball at us because we were a small defense, and that was always the thing. If you can get us in a situation where if you can run and maintain the run, then you can lean on us. But come on, man, Zach Crockett and Wheatley in the backfield. Who the hell are they going to run over?
We're talking with Warren Sapp. The book, Sapp Attack, his career, which has obviously been a great one and a very colorful one, which we'll get to some of the other stuff. But let me get to a couple of coaches first, Warren. Erickson. You like Erickson?
Oh, one of the best coaches I've ever been around.
Very good coach.
Very good coach. He started the one back, 3 wide receivers. I mean, that was his whole thing.
Won everywhere he's ever been.
Oh, he's always going to win. No. And if it wasn't for the bad call with Vinny on the goal line with the Jets, he'd have had that Seattle team in the playoff. He might still be coaching.
He got screwed on that, but he did have some, he had some other demons he had to fight with himself. But I mean, he did. But
we'll let him talk about his demons. Right now, he's a great man for me.
He did get screwed in that game.
He did. That brought back replay.
Absolutely.
That brought back replay. So
Vinny
there it is.
Did not get his helmet.
Vinny did. No, the ball didn't cross. I didn't worry about Vinny.
You liked Erickson.
I loved Erickson.
What was your problem with Weish? I wasn't aware till I picked up the book that I realized you had a problem. What was your problem with Weish?
Sam ran a 3-ring circus in which the special teams, the defense, and the offense, he was going to run. And you can't do that as any head football coach. But that's just what he was. And I remember him looking at the O-line coach one time, and he was like, you know why your players are P's? Because they're coached by a P. And I looked over, and I'm looking like, how could you castrate this man in front of the team? You know, my rookie year, we was 5-2, and then finished 2-7. So, I mean, Sam loved the 3-ring circus and everything, but I understand what Barney Bussey and, Chris Collinsworth and some of those guys feel about him. I understand what kind of coach that was.
Boomer likes him. Boomer's a big Sam Weiss guy.
Norman's supposed to love him. I understand why they love him, but they do remember the Sam Weiss that walked in the locker room when the lady reporter was there, right?
I'm not familiar with that.
You don't remember that story?
No, I don't. Tell me.
You got to use the internet for something more than Twitter and watching these people destroy themselves on Twitter and Kim Jong-un.
No, I don't even watch. I don't.
I know you don't. I know you don't.
Even look at Twitter.
When Forrest Gray, the lady reporter went in there and Sam made the brouhaha.
I have to look. I don't
look
know.
Look it up so you have a better appreciation.
Can you tell me now? Tell me.
Nah, but it was just more what I did because I know the guy that they're talking about was free players coach. He let you do whatever you wanted to do.
So you didn't like him?
I didn't get that guy.
You didn't like
I got the guy when you got off the plane. We had a team meeting, team dinner, curfew.
Right, so you didn't like Sam Weiss. That's it. You don't like Sam Weiss.
I didn't like Sam Weiss for a number of reasons. I mean, you have to be sound in what you're doing, and Sam was never sound in anything he was doing. If he's calling 6 plays on a row, it's going to be 6 different formations with 6 different plays with 6 different personnels. That ain't how you play this game.
All right. Dungy.
Oh, I'd take a bullet for the man if it didn't kill me.
Why?
As a black kid growing up without a father figure, Dungy was the epitome of that for me. I mean, every day he came to work was like a rock. I mean, it didn't matter. We were 1-7 or 5-3 at the end, our first 16 games together. And he came into that place every day steadfast about the task at hand. And he made me a believer because, I mean, when you're talking about coming to Tampa, 11 straight double-digit loss seasons when I got there. And then we go 7-9, and then Dungy comes in and is 11 out of 12. And we have to turn this whole place around. We have to turn around the mindset of how we even walked out to practice, tucking your shirt in, be a pro at all times. I mean, we had to change everything about the place. And that's why he holds such a special place. And his daughter used to babysit the kids so I can have Friday nights out.
We're talking with Warren Sapp. Does it bother you that you guys didn't get over the hump for Sam Weiss? I mean, for Tony Dungy?
Absolutely.
Because Tony Dungy, the key was he couldn't get over the hump with his Tampa teams. They'd win, but they couldn't win those playoff games.
The thing about it was he never grilled the offense like he grilled us on defense. I mean, I used to come in there on some Tuesdays, Mike, and look Marinelli in the face, and Marinelli be like, I heard it was a 9-sack week this week, Sapp. I said, 9? I said, okay, I get 3. Let's just say they luckily, free me up 6-7 times a game. I get 3. I said, where the other 6 coming from? I said, he was like, that's what I tried to tell Tony. I said, Tony said this? He was like, yeah, he really thinks this is a line we could take. I said, whenever I'm on the line, you don't think they're going to hold one more dude in the bounds? They're going to slide the line. They're going to do something. He said, I try to tell him this every week, but this is the task that we're given. So we embraced it. We embraced the rising to the rafters and playing almost perfect football. That's what he wanted us to play. So
how about Gruden?
Oh, my God. Gruden wanted to go 140 miles an hour in a car that would max out at 110.
Just push you as hard as he could.
Feet on the pedal, and he said he's looking for more. I mean,
fearless, right?
But he had confidence in his plays that he was going to call and how we were going to go about it. Because I'll tell you, the first time we lined up against him, Brad Johnson, it's 9-on-7. There's no pass, right?
Right.
Brad Johnson pulls this thing and runs a boot on us. I looked at Gruden and I said, if you scared, say you scared. He's like, scared? They've been running boot up your ass for the last 3 years. I looked at my 2 and I said, you got boot and you got boot. The other 7, we locked this thing down. I mean, we used to go at each other like that day in and day out. I mean, it was a battle. And he was like, I keep hearing about this great defense. Give me 9 touchdowns. When Dwight Smith scored that second touchdown, he ran back. I walked up to Gruden and I said, you know what number that is? He said, what? I said, 9. Now shut up.
So did he make a big difference for you guys?
He was the icing on the cake.
So he just changed that team needed a kickstart, needed a kick
on the offensive side of the ball. But no. Not only on the offensive side of the ball, he kicked us too on the defense. He was like, "You guys so good, score points now. Don't stop people from scoring." You were the best defense
for a long time.
That's what he challenged us. He said, "I don't want you to stop people from scoring. I want points from you. You say my offense sucks, score for me. Don't set me up, score for me. I want 9 touchdowns." So we gave him 9.
Who's the best coach you ever played for? Dungy.
I spent the most time with him.
So he was your, and were the Raiders as chaotic as? I mean, what from the inside? What was so wrong with the Raiders?
How about if you walked in this place and no one said good morning to you? Would you feel good about coming to work?
So that's
one. That's just my pet peeve with coming to work at 7 in the morning. If I see you, you don't say good morning. I don't say good. At least let's start it off with that. Good morning.
So no feeling of community. Nothing.
What community?
Nothing.
It was all for self. We'd be sitting there watching the ESPN or something on the TV with somebody. Oh, he getting paid that much money?
All about the money.
And this guy over here got maybe 5 starts in this league. I'm like, you don't even start. How you worry about I mean, it was a rare air, Mike. I promise you. It was a rare air that if you wore the silver and black, you were something special.
Did you have conversations with Davis?
Yes.
Share one with me.
I'll share the last one I had with him.
Go ahead.
I was going into his office. I said, I need to see Mr. Davis because I was retiring. I don't want to play no more, and I want to tell the man that brought me to Oakland that I'm not going to play for you anymore. I'm going home. He told me, sit down. We were sitting there watching. It was the New England Patriot game versus the New York Giants, 38-35, the perfect season.
Right.
We're sitting there, and Randy Moss is going down the sideline. Mind you, he was with us the year before. Mm-hmm. Moss catch one of them long balls. He going. Mr. Davis looks at me and said, he told me he couldn't run anymore. Look at that. I said, oh, jeez. So now I'm finna get everything that Mr. Davis. So we go to talking football or whatever. He said, no, you're not retiring. You're going to come back next year. I'm going to get a new coach. I said, Mr. Davis, I'm done. I said, Mr. Davis, I've always said to myself, when it becomes a job and not fun, I'm leaving. And I've won 15 games in 4 years. I said, he said, we got a game. I said, Mr. Davis, we're not going to beat San Diego. I said, I love you to death, but we don't do run gaps here, and LaDainian Tomlinson plays over there. Only thing I do is turn and hand it off to him. He's eventually going to find a hole. That's just what's going to go down, and there's nothing I can do about it anymore. I say, I got us from the 3-4 to a 4-3 to the number 3 defense in the NFL, and then my offense came up with 48 turnovers that year. No, 46. They was 2 away from 3 a game. I said, can't do it anymore. I'm 3,000 miles away from my babies. I got to go back to the other coast. I'm an East Coast boy.
Could you imagine what it was like to play for him in the heyday, back in when they were the Kings, the 70s,
I would have loved it with Stabler and them boys. Yeah, you'd have loved it. Oh, yeah. Willie was
Ted
still there.
Hendricks.
All of them still came back, and you got.
They were all part of the family.
That was the best part of it, was flying on the plane and talking with them. That was the best part of it.
He never got rid of his players. That's part of it. Very sentimental.
You died a Raider.
Right, that was it. Yeah.
You died a Raider. If you could play, you died a Raider.
And he paid for all of them, too. He didn't care, right?
You died a Raider. That's just the way he felt about it. I mean, there was certain gooses that laid golden eggs, and Mr. Davis wouldn't let him out of his house once he had them. And I was one of those guys he considered that.
Sapp Attack, my story, Warren Sapp. We'll be right back.